All right, so let's do a leaf blower article that was linked on the subreddit that I started. So this is serious business. It's leaf blowers, and it's not even me. User Gas Leaf Blower Clown submitted an article from New Haven, Connecticut. And Clown of the Week, Casey Frawley goes to a neighborhood he doesn't live in, proceeds to use the loudest, most polluting option available, and then he gets mad about privacy and says he doesn't give permission for a photo. Rules for thee, not for me. Also, he is okay with getting lung cancer. Sad. Well, it certainly is. And let's see the article here because it's actually a linked article from a local magazine there. So New Haven, this is in Connecticut. Which is kind of funny because, like, the local newspapers, they never write what state they're in because it's like everyone assumes it to be obvious, but I don't, right? But it's in Connecticut, I believe. So, landscapers enviros clash on blower ban by Laura Glesby from June 3rd, 2022. So that was just a month ago in the New Haven Independent. So, gas-powered leaf blowers, lifeline or life-destroying? Well, it's life-destroying, I would say. Environmentalists, oh boy, let's put me over here for now. The environmentalists said the persistent roar of gas-powered leaf blowers pollute the air and cause long-term health and environmental damage. The landscapers whose income currently depends on those leaf blowers said advocates who want to ban them are out of touch. Well, again, why can't they just use rakes and brooms? Like, we're not saying you can't landscape. You just can't use that tool. So to blow the leaves around, you'll have to gather them some other way. I want to see how many calluses they have, said one professional. Oh, I love these people. It's like, so no, let's go with this. So the premise would be that the people who want to ban these don't have calluses. So, oh, you're a hypocrite because what? I want to hire somebody for it? Yes, I don't. How many? First of all, I have some calluses from doing. I don't know if it comes through, but I can do pull-ups. I get some calluses from that. Can you see the You can see the calluses. I know you can, right? Let's see. Look at that. And I'm not sure how many calluses you're going to get using a leaf blower. You get a lot more calluses using like a rake, because I go kayaking, right? I actually get a little bit of calluses from that too. So, but a rake will do it. A leaf blower is less likely because you're not moving your hands around as much. So what's the idea here? I want to see how many calluses they... Like, they're not willing to do the hard job. But once you say that about the people... Once you say that about people who don't want to use rakes and brooms, I don't know. It's this tough guy macho stuff that doesn't seem to make a shred of sense. If it makes any sense, maybe I'm just wrong. Please write it below in the comments. But those two sides squared off in the Board of Alders chamber at City Hall on Thursday evening, armed with statistics, rebuttals, and in one case, photographic surveillance of another testifier. I think that's what the Reddit headline is getting at. They testified before the Alder City Services and Environmental Policy Committee, this is serious, during a workshop on a potential city ban of the gas-powered leaf blowers, and ignited discussion about the urgency of environmental action, the collective consequences of personal choices, and the economic burdens of industry-wide changes that often fall on working-class shoulders. The city's Environmental Advisory Council has been advocating for the Board of Alders to consider a phase-out or ban on gas-powered leaf blowers, hoping to spur a transition among local landscaping companies to electric machines. Now, that already is infuriating because a video I still haven't put up because I'm still questioning, my sanity of doing all these videos. Basically, Right Bozo is doing his leaf blowing as usual. And then far left bozo, 5 stories down, he had an electric blower that was loud as fuck. Now, right bozo has an electric electric blower. So what is the benefit of these things? And in fact, in the video I still haven't put up, the spoiler alert, the electric machine that was used by far left bozo, five doors down. I walked to the edge of to the end of the street in the intersection of another street. I measured on Google Maps. It's about 700 feet from far left bozo, who was using the electric blower, and I could still hear it. 700 feet. So, the electric blowers are so much better. Brr. It's like, I don't think so. So this, and once you tell professionals, hey, you got to use electric mowers now, or electric blowers, I keep mixing it up. Well, they're never letting go of those. So it's just not enough, If you hear the roar of these electric blowers, it still stops you from doing everything else the gas ones do. You can still hear a lot of these indoors. You don't want to spend any outdoors on your patio because it doesn't really matter if it's a gas or electric one. It might be a little bit less noisy, but they're both noisy enough to just destroy any reason to be outside and just, whatever. Gas-powered leaf blowers use two-stroke engines that run on a combination of gasoline and oil, and they are less expensive than electric leaf blowers. Although testifiers on Thursday disagreed on the scale of that cost discrepancy. Elders weren't yet weighing a particular piece of legislation, so this means it'll never happen. Rather, they heard testimony about leaf blowers in the form of a workshop to inform any future action on the matter. So let's have another 1,000 committees on this and do nothing. Yeah. Over 100 other municipalities in 15 states have enacted gas blower bans. Environmentalists, no right to pollute. The Environmental Advisory Council has cited air pollutants emitted from gas-powered leaf blowers, including volatile organic compounds, nitrogen oxides, blah, blah, blah. One key reason that they should be banned or phased out. Mm-hmm. That's a nice club soda and a little bit of Sauvignon Blanc, as we like to say. And that's really good with a comically oversized spherical ice ball, by the way. It's nice and cold. Yeah, okay, so they emit pollution directly, and you can smell it. I mean, I actually was looking at a gas blower that was blowing dust, and you could see the smoke coming out of the machine actually on the back side of it. Thankfully, because it's the summer, they were only here for about 5-10 minutes, but it was still obnoxious. The council's proposal also focuses on the gas blower's loud noise. That's right. Which they said can range from 95 to 115 decibels at the operator's ear and from 65 to 75 decibels from 50 feet. Oh, that's hilarious. 65 to 7 from 50 feet. 50 feet is like your next door neighbor. No, if the next door neighbor is maybe indoors, it's that loud. But the idea that it's that loud outside, of course not. I've measured it's 75 decibels when they're 200-300 feet that way, because it also echoes around, right? Advocates noted on Thursday that the sound can damage human hearing and interrupt wildlife activity. Some said their ability to enjoy time outside or even in their homes is frequently disrupted by loud whir of gas leaf blowers, or electric ones, by the way, but yeah, that's true. So it's like, yeah. According to Vivek Morris, the executive director of Yale's Law, Ethics, and Animals program, the sound of leaf blowers affect bird behavior, which in turn can have consequences for local pest control and pollination. Yeah, and then all these people with their mosquito poisons, it's like, oh, well, let's have leaf blowers, let's have poisons everywhere, and then why are there still mosquitoes? Well, because you kill everything, that's going to eat the mosquitoes. All the frogs are very sensitive to any of the mosquito spray. Not like the personal spray, but, the stuff you do in your yard. So you kill everything that kills the mosquitoes, you drive the birds away, and it's like, why do we have to do this every 2 months? It's like, because idiots. Some local environmental activists stressed that their goal was not to ban leaf blowers altogether, which makes them terrible people who aren't very effective. You're not wanting to ban them altogether. So again, it's, we don't even want to ban all of them. It's like, okay. But to spark a widespread shift towards greener landscaping supplies. They argue that a shift to electric leaf blowing would mitigate environmental health and noise concerns. No, not really. Because again, you still can't spend much time outdoors if it's electric whirring. It doesn't functionally make a huge difference. It really doesn't. It's not like, oh, thank God, it's like electric mower, like a electric grass mower, I would say a lot of those are significantly quieter and less annoying than the gas mowers. I think that is a good trade-off there of, okay, fine, you don't have to use a push mower, but the electric ones are generally better. I will hand them for mowers, but not blowers. You know, whatever the threshold of annoyingness is, electric ones are here and gas ones are like here, but they're past the threshold, so it doesn't matter, you know? And they're still blowing stuff around, they're still loud, you know, so they don't mitigate it. They don't. These are lies. Some landscapers, meanwhile, dispute that electric leaf blowers are significantly quieter. Well, what? I'm agreeing with landscapers. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're not significantly less loud, and even if they're slightly less loud, they're still too loud, okay? So I guess landscapers have it right. They're like, well, these fucking things are annoying anyway, so what's the point? Yeah, I agree. The goal here is electrification, said Mary Woolsey. No, it's not Mary, okay? The electric ones are still loud. And again, these are like the people on your side who are going to be telling you, oh, it's so wonderful, we need to go green. Well, green would be using a rake and broom. It's not to outlaw all types of leaf. Yes, that should be the goal. It should be a very heavy restriction where you can use it once a month, you can use it once every 2 weeks on a very specific day. And again, in the same way, we don't just drop kick garbage out to the front yard. You know, you put it in a bin. Today was trash day here. You put it in a bin, and every week you take it out, and that's it. You know, the sprinklers here are not supposed to be used except on certain days, depending on whether you're an odd or even number, and only after sunset. You can't use it in the middle of the day. It's 102 degrees now. You know, that sort of thing. Florestine Taylor argued that an ordinance phasing out gas blowers would aid small businesses in making the transition before other regulatory agencies require it. This is an opportunity where people don't have to be left behind, she said. The change is coming. So basically, other places are going to regulate it, so you might as well do, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah. Taylor added that she's concerned about the consequences of inhaling toxins and withstanding loud noises for hours on end each day when it comes to the landscaper's health. Oh, standing up for the working man, I see. Okay, thank you. What's her name? Taylor. Others, meanwhile, contend that any type of leaf blowing can be damaging to the earth. Yes, finally, my type of people. Suzanne Roberts argued that, quote, blowing all the leaves away is a terrible idea because they have a function. Leaf clearing deprives plants and wildlife of mulch, she said. When necessary, those testifiers urged landscapers to rake leaves by hand rather than using mechanical methods of leaf clearing. So yeah, Suzanne Roberts is the only one so far who's not completely mentally insane, okay? Because she's like, yeah, you know, let's use rakes. I don't think that everyone has a right to pollute, she said. Activism or harassment? Laura Kahn arrived at the board of Alder's chamber prepared. She carried printed out photographs she'd taken of the landscapers who worked across the street from her Westville home. Evidence, she contended, of a handful of violations by Greater New Haven Landscaping. Now, we're actually going to come back. You know what? Hold on. We'll come back. There's a poll on the page as well. We'll come back to that. We'll also click on Greater New Haven Landscaping because these people... The rest of the article shows what scumbags they are, okay? And their website is the number one reason for it. So that's Laura Kahn. She is photographing these violators. The company leading the opposition to the ban. Again, so remember the name, Greater New Haven Landscaping. They go out of their way to oppose any gas blower ban, even when most of the environmentalists are like, oh, we don't want to ban these things, please. Oh, just make it less bad. Okay, so they don't even want the slightest amount of restrictions, and we're going to take a look at their website because there's still more information about how terrible they are. Kahn, who chairs the Environmental Advisory Council, accused Greater New Haven Landscaping of running three gas-powered leaf blowers at once, which she said generated enough noise to travel through layers of windows to the back of her house. She also photographed the landscapers leaf blowing without personal protective equipment such as face masks. I do not believe I should have to wear ear protection in my own home. Concept. Look, that's completely acceptable. Today, when, as I mentioned, they were doing leaf blowing over here, I actually had to stick in the noise-canceling headphones, and you could still hear it, of course. Maybe if you're listening to something else, you can. But yeah, it is pretty ridiculous that, shoveling 3 leaves away is somehow a reason for me to have to engage in ear protection in my own home. Ridiculous. A few speakers later, Casey Frawley, whose father, Mike Frawley, owns Greater New Haven Landscaping, and initiated the public hearing in defense of gas-powered leaf blowers, approached the alders. I'm the person across the street whom Kahn photographed, the younger Frawley said. Oh, the victim speaks. I do not give her any permission to take my photograph, he stated, butthurtedly. He said his previous interactions with Kahn amounted to harassment. I get sworn at. I get told she's going to call the cops on me, he alleged. Yeah, good for Mrs. Kahn. Landscapers, not for the common man. So that's the father, Mike Frawley, right? Mike Frawley left at a 2016 community meeting, so he's been at this for a long time. Casey Frawley also took issue with environmentalist statements of concern over landscapers' health. The notion that they're trying to look out for us from a health standpoint, that's not true. We're fine, he said. His father, Mike Frawley, rebutted other arguments in favor of a gas blower ban. He said that simply raking leaves by hand is not a feasible business model for landscapers who are paid to work all day at a certain pace. Well, again, Mike and, what's her face? What's your other face, Casey? Here's the thing. So let's say you spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes half an hour using a leaf blower. Use the same amount of time to use a rake and a broom. And that's it. So, again, are you going to get the same level of perfection of getting every leaf out of the way? No. But blowing a bunch of dust in the air, I don't really look at that as cleaning anyways, Mike and Casey, right? And again, we'll get to it, but really it's up to the homeowners, right? Because these landscapers, they all seem to be kind of the same dummies who just seem to not get that, if there's an ordinance that says, you can't use leaf blowers, then great. You'll just have quieter gardening, I mean, it would make it a lot more enjoyable of an activity, right? You could say, look, because of the new ordinance, we spend an average of 30 minutes on your home or 20 minutes. So, sorry, we just can't do exactly the same thing. But, it's not as dusty anymore. And if you want a little more, then pay us more. If not, then that's what it is. And everybody has to obey the same ordinance, right? So it's not like they're going to lose out to anybody, right? Like everybody has to follow the same ordinance, so they're not going to be losing out to anybody. It's not like there's going to be another business that can get all the leaves in the same way as before, right? So I never understand why landscapers are always so opposed to this, He said that electric leaf blowing technology is not as effective, yet far more expensive compared to gas-powered blowers. He estimated that an average gas-powered blower costs $600, while electric blowers can cost $2,500 in his experience. I don't know, like the professional ones? I don't know if that's true. That sounds like he's making up stuff. To survive in this business is not easy, Frawley said. The only people who are going to be able to afford this equipment are people like Yale University. Oh, okay, so it's near Yale. That's why he's wearing a Yale shirt in there as well. Who have an unlimited endowment and budget. But for the common man, it's just not going to happen. Again, just use a rake and a broom. I use it. What's wrong with that, right? The burden of transitioning to electric-powered tools will fall on small businesses already struggling to make it through supply chain hiccups. Again, brooms and rakes are not very expensive either, right? Labor shortages and inflation, Frawley said. These people deserve the credit for making New Haven's neighborhoods clean and beautiful. Well, first of all, beautiful is kind of subjective. The generic, everything looks nicely cut this way. Okay, I don't know if that's beautiful. It's kind of OCD. Clean, it's definitely not, because you're blowing all the dust in the air. And I would say noise pollution is a kind of uncleanliness onto itself. So, I don't go down by the trails here when I'm still hearing leaf blowers, and I see, the forest. I see the trails with a couple leaves on it. I don't say, oh, it's so dirty here. We need a leaf blower on the trails, you know. But anyways, as for concerns about environmental impact, Frawley questioned why residents are targeting leaf blowers. Oh boy. Well, that was not a good idea. Are we still on? Yep. This fell. I thought this would be a little more stable, but hopefully it's a little better now. I'll just hold it with two hands. Right, so as for concerns about environmental impact, Frawley questioned why residents are targeting leaf blowers and not other two-stroke engine tools like lawnmowers and chainsaws. Well, first of all, lawnmowers, I agree. Electrify those. As I've discussed before, electric would work on those. Chainsaws, well, chainsaws are very rarely used. There's a dead tree here, so they're actually going to be coming out here next week sometime. And, maybe there's a case to be said that needs to be hand-powered as well. I don't know. But that's what it is, all right? So you don't use those very often anyways, so whatever. And again, maybe the limitation is if there's some scheduled non-emergency chainsawing you have to do, then you have to schedule that on a certain day. Okay, fine. That's good too, right? Finally, Frawley compared the decibel range of gas-powered blower to the volume of vacuum cleaners and hand drills. Well, Frawley, vacuum cleaners are used generally indoors, so, Number two, hand drills. I mean, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of hand drills either in a suburb. When I will put up that video, but far left bozo, who was using the electric blower that I could hear 700 feet away, he then decided to use a circular chainsaw in his garage. So that was fun too, like literally right after. So that's insane too. There's some people that complain about children playing on the playground, Frawley said. There are going to be things that annoy people as far as noise goes. But leaf blowing is a fact of life. I love these people, they make it seem like this is... No, it's not. You could easily pass an ordinance if there was the fucking will for it to say, no, we're not doing this anymore. There's no leaf blowing, period. You can do it every month. You can do it every 2 weeks, whatever. But we're not doing it every day, whenever the fuck you want it. Okay? I love these inevitability declarations. Oh, that's just how life is. It's like, no, that's not how it was before the 70s. Nobody had leaf blowers. They weren't invented yet. So I hate these people. Woolsey, now she was the soft environmentalist woman who's like, oh, we don't want to ban any of these things. So we just maybe some... Yeah, I hate her. She's very mousy. Woolsey countered that since decibels are a logarithmic measure, a 95 decibel leaf blower, for instance, is 100 times louder than a 75 decibel vacuum cleaner, marking a significant difference in noise. Okay, so she's right about that, about the, a 10 is a double. It is a logarithm. Yeah, she's right. Woolsey added that in addition to a sound's decibels, its ability to travel far depends on its frequency, and gas blowers, she said, have a particularly low frequency compared to lawnmowers and other devices. As many as 90 homes can be affected by the sound of leaf blowers at one time, she said. Oh, I think it's more than that, but yeah, she's kind of right on the money with that. Yeah, it's a different frequency or whatever, that it just travels in a different way, and you can hear it, and it's obnoxious. Other environmental activists noted that Alders had recently declared a climate emergency in 2019. Climate change is too urgent an issue to justify waiting for technology to improve, they argued. Another landscaper, who identified himself as Carlos, pointed out that a majority of testifiers against gas-powered blowers live in the wealthier neighborhoods of East Rock and Westville. He described his typical workday tending to lawns across these neighborhoods. I wake up at 7 in the morning. I did not have lunch. I did not have dinner yet. He said around 8:30 p.m. I'm sorry that you can't have lunch or anything, They are living in different worlds. Carlos said of the anti-leaf blower advocates, I want to see how many calluses they have. Nah. Okay, so this is where the quote... What does this mean? Like, first of all, what does it... Okay, so people living in a wealthier neighborhood would say, because I'm living in a wealthier neighborhood, can I fucking enjoy living inside of my own home or outside of my home and not listen to this fucking hell of a noise? And why is it a rich people thing? Poor people don't want to enjoy their homes? Like, I don't understand this. It's the rich when their ears. It's like, yeah, I guess, rich people and their stupid ears listening to things, that are obnoxious. So I don't understand that. So rich, pampered people, they don't want to listen to noise. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why that's a rich thing, but whatever, yeah. If you're rich, you don't want to listen to the noise, yeah. And their calluses, they don't want to work. Well, first of all, again, if you want to brag about how macho you are, it's hard. It might be a little harder to work with a rake. So, again, it's just transition with aid? Question mark. Reflecting on the issue after the public testimony concluded, alders came away from the hearing with different takeaways. Prospect Hill, Dixwell, whatever alder Steve Winter said that the ban would be a matter of environmental justice. We have the 11th worst asthma rate in the entire United States. We need to do something about it. We can't just ignore it. Well, that's the other thing is all the allergies and asthma and all the respiratory issues. It's like, I don't think blowing dust in the air makes it better. But that's just me. I'm just a rich, pampered person with ears, apparently, and I don't have calluses or something. I don't know. Hill South Alder Campton Singh, meanwhile, said he believes the technology is still in its infancy. I hope that we as a committee will look into that. What does that mean? Whatever Alder Devin, just have a normal name, expressed conflicting impulses. I think about independent contractors in my ward, primarily people of color. Oh my God, we got to throw that out. Oh, the rich, the coloreds. Oh my God, it's just, we can't ever just be like, hey, everyone has ears, so, let's respect that. Primarily people of color who are not rich. I don't anticipate they'd be able to afford new everybody in the poor neighborhood is into landscaping. It can't be that poor people also have ears and would not want to listen to this bullshit, right? It just doesn't occur to anybody that poor people of the color also have ears and may not want to listen to it either. It's conflicting things of, all the poor coloreds are using leaf blowers. And no, most of them probably don't have landscaping jobs, and most likely they also have ears, I could see this putting a lot of local businesses out of business. Rakes are expensive. Boo! It's just, I just do not understand this. At the same time, he said, when he thinks of his ward, I also consider the people who would be affected mostly by health hazards of air pollution and climate. Everything has to be climate change. It can't be, it's too fucking loud. Stop it. It's got to be, we have to protect Mother Gaia first. No, my ears, my rich ears, okay? He concluded that alders should implement some sort of assistance for small businesses in order for gas-powered to be phased out. Oh, handouts as usual. Here, I hand you a rake. I hand you a broom. Here you go. Here's some handouts. We would have to help the local industry prepare for that change. Yeah, more government boondoggles of let's give handouts to everybody who's affected. Now, do I get handouts? It's, the poor businesses making lots of noise. We have to kiss their ass. How about, there's no consideration for the actual people who live there. And what about people from home who have a job? Why is it that the only people who matter in this equation are people making $10 a fucking hour? What about people making more money at home? Why is it that my job is not material to any of this? But people making $10 an hour. We have to prepare for this. No, tell them to fucking stop. Here's a fucking rake and broom. And if there's 2% more leaves everywhere, who gives a flying fuck? Jesus Christ. But the poor and Mother Gaia. Oh my God, these neurotic asshats. We really don't have a choice. It is time for human health and the health of our environment. Change is already... Okay, platitudes. Okay, so we went... But let's go back to the poll that we had here. Even though I'm not from New Haven, I'm going to be voting. I hope it's not against the law. Should the city... ban the use of gas-powered leaf blowers? And the answer is right away, yes. Submit your vote. I hope that doesn't screw up the page. It did screw up the page. You have to scroll, I think. Yes, yes. Here we go. Total submissions. I am 1,102. Well, this place sucks. So, 22%, including us, is yes right away. Yes over time, preferably like 2 weeks, 17%. So that, you add it up, and that still is like 40-something percent. Not sure is 5.27%. No is 55. See, this is the other problem, is people just have no problem with this fucking noise. You know, do people like this stuff? Is it the landscapers filling all the ballots here, are they coordinating campaigns here to, hey, everybody better press no on this so we can astroturf this? I don't know. But the point is, so there was the Frawleys or Trolleys or something, Casey, whatever. So let's go to the link. It's a blue one, so I think we'll be able to, oh, here we go. So, yes. Casey Frawley and Mike Frawley from Greater New Haven. So this is the company that's like, oh, we can't do our job without making life miserable for everyone else. Any time of the day, we have a right to go to your neighborhoods, and then we're butthurt if somebody takes a photo of us being noisy, right? So they have a website. They have a company called Greater New Haven Landscaping, all right? Now let's go to the website and see what bags of shit they are. So these are the people saying at any time we can do loud noises whenever, and they'll publicly lobby for it. So they're not even saying, all right, maybe let's restrict the times. All right, everybody's going to be bound by this, so it kind of cancels out. Every lawn landscaper business is going to do the same level of service. So again, it doesn't hurt your business, you know. Greater New Haven Landscaping. Let's click on it to see why they're such bags of shit. So, about us, here we go. Okay, look at this bullshit quote. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. Native American proverb. Meh. And you know, one example of this, that, you know, of good stewardship of the earth is just blowing dust around, driving the birds away, and driving everyone insane, because our children deserve dust in the air at all times, you know? Oh my God. This is why they're bags of shit. Oh, we do not inherit the earth. Oh, it's for our children. Oh, we care so much about our children. You guys are bags of shit, you know? A New Haven public school teacher. Well, you know how great they are. Anyway, so... yeah, leaving the teaching profession was not easy. I just wanted to make noise all day long in the neighborhood and annoy everybody with it. So anyways, that's it. That's the Trolleys, the Frawleys, whatever you want to call them. They love making noise and making sanctimonious bullshit quotes about protecting the children by, you know, putting cancer-causing stuff in the air, dust everywhere, and, you know. But really, my closing comment is, the problem is that a lot of people don't seem to care, you know. It's just, let's make tons of noise. I don't care. Doesn't matter that anybody else cares. We'll just make tons of noise. So, unfortunately, that's it. I think those of us who are more sensitive to, I don't know, 95 decibel sounds, you know, and who want to be outside, maybe want to be inside and not hear it. Maybe those of us should start our own town somewhere and make sure that, you know, Casey Frawley and Father Frawley are just not allowed to be anywhere there. And that's unfortunately it, is all this hand-wringing of, oh, we don't want to ban these things. I mean, and oh, the concern is about the workers. Yeah, the 0.2% of the population that's in landscaping, that's what we have to hand-wring about, is what will happen to their gerbs. Ooh. Never mind my enjoyment of just whatever leisure time I have. Fuck you, that doesn't matter. Or even any work that people could be doing at home. Because again, a lot of people, especially now, work from home. Well, fuck them. Doesn't matter. You know, because, oh, somebody has to go through the neighborhood with a loud leaf blower. Now, again, they could work the same 20, 30 minutes a yard with rakes and brooms and charge the same amount. There you go. Nobody's impacted negatively then, okay? Nobody's impacted negatively then. But, oh, well, we got a hand ring and we're so stupid about everything. So anyways, that's it. And it just shows how useless people are with this stuff. It's so stupid. Anyways, I've had enough. I did enjoy doing this article. This is probably, 45 minutes? Good Lord. So I think that'll be at 35. All right. Okay, that's good. So that's it. And, yeah.